Hey guys, this is Briggs from All About Briggs. So as you know, last week I put a couple of entries in to discuss how I was feeling about the ayahuasca ceremony and what I was going through beforehand. I did mention that I would let you guys know about the aftermath of the ceremony. I know it's been a full entire week plus a weekend prior to me making this entry, but I guess that's because there's a lot of information to sort of deconstruct and figure out. So I've taken some time, and this is now my video entry with regards to the ayahuasca ceremony. So it was, in terms of set and setting, an area that was quite rustic. Nothing that bothers me. I've traveled the world, so it's something that I expected. I sort of had a vision of it beforehand, so it wasn't anything that particularly bothered me. The cold was a bit of an issue, so during journey and during your ceremony, to still be thinking about keeping warm is a bit distracting. But other than that, great. But in saying that, the importance of set and setting is tremendous. So into the actual journey, Friday night was milder than I expected, but possibly based on the fact that I was so adamant on my intentions in terms of being guided slowly and softly through the process, that may have certainly played a role. There were times where I realized I was journeying and came out of it and had sort of little memory of it. So I guess those are the things that you sort of need to deconstruct afterwards and pull out of your sort of subconscious memory. The sound journey throughout the ceremony was really, really beautiful for me. The healing elements of the singing bowls and these beautiful, beautiful chimes and the flutes and the Icarus was really, really magical and quite powerful. And in saying that, I know that there are different facilitators around there and everyone does their ceremonies differently, which I think is beautiful because every person holds their space differently. So for me, we had a shaman that has his own unique way. He's or would be judged as quite a hard man, not sort of the peace-loving hippie that you would expect, but a very different shaman in that regard, but fantastic. There were certain disappointments with regards to the actual brew itself. I felt that I was expecting and hoping for more of a DMT experience. I've subsequently found out that the particular brew that we had, didn't have the chacruna leaf in it, which is a lesson in itself. I know the ayahuasca as a plant itself still does its medicine and does its healing in the way that it needs to. But again, I think it's important that prior to your ceremony and you've gained all the knowledge that you need based on your expectations. The lesson in that, however, is that everything happens for a reason and everything happens in the time that it should. So possibly, the fear that I felt beforehand and the preparation and everything was sort of a journey that needed to be taken from my side and deconstructed to a point where I understood and had let go of one fear, a massive amount of fear, 2, expectation, and 3, letting that particular medicine do its work in the way that it needed to. So the lessons, and that's sort of why I took long to post the video, because there was a certain sense of disappointment in my journey. Although it was still beautiful, there were lots of tears and things that I let go of. On the Friday night, on the Saturday, in all honesty, I didn't feel much. And not to say that you're not journeying and not to say that you're not healing. There was certainly a little bit of purging, whereas Friday I held it together somehow. But then on Saturday morning we did a tobacco ceremony, which was disgusting and phenomenal at the same time. It's actually such a cleansing feeling afterwards. It's so contradictory to what you may think, but you are literally having a full cup of gooey tobacco and then just purging for a good 20 minutes afterwards until the liquids coming out of you are clean. And the sort of menthol feeling that I felt afterwards was phenomenal. I went into a very, very deep meditation after that, so much so that I felt a little bit off my axis, which has only occurred to me 2 or 3 times in meditation, and I sort of feel like I'm rotating with the universe, which is when I know I'm very, very deep. And, the silent part of the retreat was also great to sort of work through stuff in that moment. As silent as it is, there's so much chatter in your head in terms of your journey from the night before and your expectations, your learning about yourself, the self-worth issues, the self-work that you're doing on yourself, the experience, the whole bunch of things. So all in all, the actual ceremony, I would say, is a full-on process that begins way before the evening. The change of diet is, I am vegetarian, but it was challenging for me to eliminate this sort of animal products to more of a vegan-based diet, and to do the intention setting, which I do on a daily basis, but particularly to connect with spirits and stuff, it's sort of somehow more sacred. And obviously, you're going into sacred ceremony as well, so it changes your intention to something that you want more, and there's far more awareness involved in it. And then, of course, after ceremony, having taken a whole week to sort of work through the disappointments and actually realize that I'm actually not disappointed. As much as I've said that, I've learned so much. The most powerful thing that I learned is to stand in my own power as a facilitator, as a healer. And subsequently, I have done my first ceremony this week myself with a group of people, and it felt absolutely fantastic. I was actually going to use a different facilitator for it and just sort of do the marketing for the retreats in my company's name, but I certainly stepped into my role and I enjoyed it so much. But I'll make another video entry about that, and we can discuss that. Cheers, guys. Thanks for joining me on my ayahuasca journey. I know for a fact that there will be more, and I hope you guys tune in. Any questions, please let me know, and I will be happy to answer them. Bye.